What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We got a special interview for you today. Um, this gentleman is our very first international wrestler that we're interviewing today. His name is Jay Rowe. He is from Quebec, Canada. But before we introduce him, I got to bring my buddy on from Straight Up Wrestling Show, Mr. HBT. What's going on, HBT?
Nothing much, Jim, man. The professor, I'm in the house, ready to do this thing, ready to rock with our special guest.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're I'm happy to introduce Mr. J Rowe, the Asgard King.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right, J Rowe. Good to meet you, J Rowe, Asgard King. We are here. And wait, hey, we're going to have a lot of questions for you, J Rowe, the Asgard King. So, hey,
Yeah.
we ready to roll. Whenever Jim ready to roll, I'm going to let him go ahead and take the floor first. And then I guess he's going to let me come in and ask a few questions. And, hey, whatever you want to do, however you want to roll, just roll on and we're going to listen to you.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
Hey,
All right.
I'll take this guy off though. 'Cause if not, it's gonna be a long show.
Hey, I like that. I like that. I like that outfit. That's the way you come out.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
my gimmick's a Viking, so
All right. All right.
well,
That's good.
J Rowe, let me start off by asking you, how long have you been a fan? Because every wrestler is also a fan. How long have you been a fan, and who are your influences?
uh, mainly I used to watch it more as a kid. The Attitude Era, all the way like my favorites at that time were or after maybe a bit were Triple H, Batista. I mean Batista, the big guy. I always looked up to him like one day I'll be as big as that guy.
Right.
Those were my main influence growing up. Um, it kind of went PG for a while. I kind of stopped watching it. Um, I started back watching maybe a bit of AEW, but even that one I'm not watching as much. Mainly since I started wrestling, I watch old matches from back in the day. A lot of Vader, a lot of Undertaker, and stuff like that. Those are really the guys that I kind of try to wrestle like these guys.
Well, that's good.
Oh, okay.
That's good. I mean, that right there is a consummate professional. You're taking your craft very seriously, and I definitely appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure Jim definitely appreciate that. You're
Oh,
going back, of course. You involved in the new school because you was coming back. You came back and you watched a little bit of AEW, and I'm pretty sure a lot of your competitors probably do a lot of the new school style. But you have decided to become to learn from some of the teachers of the past, and that's great. So, wow, man, I'm pretty sure it's exciting to see you in the ring because I mean, a lot of wrestling fans that's not watching wrestling today, they love that style. They love that old school style. But that right there still can be. It still can be brought to today's audience. And I think they appreciate it a little bit more because they don't get the flippity floppity stuff all the time. They get somebody that comes in, they get this Asgard Viking coming in, and he's bringing something new and powerful to the scene, something totally different. Because if you looking at Vader, man, you talking about somebody that was very intense. This guy was intense, and he brought that power game. And if you emulating after him and Undertaker, I'm sure you bringing some of that in the building with you, man, into the ring with you. So that's very exciting.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, intensity is one of our biggest from my school, from where I learned. Everybody's old school, and intensity is like the first word you kind of learn.
Oh yeah,
Uh, that's how you can make your craft look amazing.
yes,
With sometimes just a little work. You don't have to do much, but
that's
if it's
true.
intense, yeah. I mean, I was lucky last year to have a seminar with Demolition.
Okay, okay.
all right.
Nice.
Signed poster from them, and yeah, we kind of picked their brains. Me and one of my buddy that we were sold together, and
Right.
yeah, we were able to get so much information as to how
No
they
doubt.
used to do it at that time, and it was really more. The intensity is the big part. Once you got those, it's a bit of corner work, a bit of this, a bit of power moves, and that creates a match that you don't see anymore on TV.
That's true. That's true. Jim, you want to go ahead and roll on and
Yeah.
man?
Yeah. Bill Eadie and Barry Darso are one of when they were Demolition, because of course they had their own individual careers before they became Demolition.
Yeah.
Now Bill Eadie and Demolition, they're more how can I put it? Road Warrior, almost like the Road Warriors.
Yeah, kind of Road Warrior esque, pretty much.
They don't deal with a lot of technical moves.
Yeah.
They deal with more with I want to say smash mouth. That's a term that we use in the United States for football. Now, my question to you, J-Ro, are you snug when you go in the ring? Do you
Yeah.
do you use the strong style?
Yeah, mainly we're really snug. That's how I learned. Also, like we used at the beginning we weren't sure because everybody was telling me not to be stiff in the ring, but at the same time to be really intense so we can know. But I learned the word snug actually from I think it was Bill while asking him questions and like. Were people complaining because you were a bit too stiff? They're like, no, you can't be stiff. You need to be snug. So that's what they. Yeah, I have to say, if I'm going to give you chops in the ring, it's gonna smack. You're gonna hear it.
Yeah, you want to feel it. You want to feel it. I mean, for you to be intense, you need to feel it.
Exactly.
So yeah, because if you wasn't snug and you went in there against somebody who really's not going to bring it, and that's one thing about a lot of indie wrestlers today. You can pretty much tell a lot of these kids never been in a real fight, and I mean, I see that when I go in and the way they strike people. I'm like, no, your opponent. Certain people out here I know who likes to be snug and who likes to feel it so they can have an impact, so they can give you some intensity, get you to the character that you're in to bring it back on them, not to hurt them or anything. It's just like, wow, is you really going to hit me like that? Hey, make it look real. You want the crowd to pretty much hear it, or you want the crowd to pretty much feel it in their heart. Like, wow, oh man, I know that, a lot of these, most people know 99% of the fans know that it's scripted in everything today. But I've sat in front of fans plenty of times where, I book shows, me and my partner book shows, and I go out and I always feel the fans and see, and I sit in front of certain fans and they be like, oh my gosh, I know that had to hurt. I know they had to hurt. It might not be, and some of the guys really get it. A lot of females, they don't know, but a lot of the males out there, they be like, look, I know they ain't really trying to hurt each other, but that had to hurt, and that's the kind of reaction you want to get from the fans. So yeah, I don't blame you for being snug.
But also and J-Ro, you can you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. When you're snug in the corner, let's say, and you're chopping somebody, and you want them to feel that same energy you're feeling right now.
You're right.
And you want them to reciprocate that energy, but you want to do it safely as well.
Always.
The word safe is probably the second word you're going to learn after intensity, because it's so easy to get hurt. I was just looking on Facebook earlier. One guy that wrestles from quite often with us, he just injured his neck yesterday. So I mean, it goes really fast in our sport. Snug doesn't mean that you hurt people. Snug means that, if I punch you, you're going to feel it. I'm not going to knock you out. It'll be close. You'll feel it, but after the match, everybody's fine. And usually, I've never heard anyone complaining It looks so much better that way. And I'm not sure what the camera kind of puts the pounds on, but I'm a pretty big guy. I'm like 6'2", 280,
Okay.
real muscular and not just fat. So I'm a big guy. So when I kind of smack people around, it looks great. But like you mentioned, you need to be safe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. Harry, your turn.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, everything's usually all right because Chris and I, we've been to like 15, I think 16 promotions now, and we're always in the back room. Even the guys the guys that are tough, that's rugged, that get in the ring, that really delivers. You know those guys, and everybody that I know, all the wrestlers that we do know that are like that, it's no complaints, man, from anyone. A lot of the guys that do go into the ring, that's not as stiff, might be some of them are younger guys or whatever, and man, they enjoy it 100%, and they give a lot of credit to those guys who will go in there and try to bring that realism out to everybody. And they will go out there, and sometimes they will go out there and they'll promote those guys who are real tough in the ring. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for wrestling. And a lot of times they will ask those guys, how do I make my chops look a little bit more realer? How do I make my punches look better, or my kicks, without really delivering it, but delivering it with the force that you deliver it. And so I've seen a lot of guys who actually learned off of that, man, that just really didn't have it, because we do a lot of commentary, and we're like, oh my gosh, these guys, you can pretty much look at them and tell, hey, like I said, they've never been in a fight before, or they're not learning, they're not getting up to speed. And we'll go and say, go and talk to, we got this guy named Curtis Anderson, and I mean he's very tough. We say go and talk to Curtis, or we got a guy named Nick Fury here in South Carolina, very tough up in Bowling Springs, South Carolina, very snug, and people know he's going to bring it to you. And Brian Bullock, those guys going to bring it to you, and we say go and talk to them, and then after they talk to them, within 3 weeks to 6 weeks, man, they're a totally different person. They out there wrestling, exactly. And they're bringing the heat back to the bigger guys, and they're bringing the heat to their other opponents that they do end up defeating. So yes, so that right there is a plus from you to these guys. So man, you're leaving an impact, and that's good.
Yeah. I was lucky to learn from. I found there's a wrestling school near my place. Started over there, and one of our trainers is a big guy. We learned from him, and right. Say as soon as you do something wrong, he kind of tells you that looks bad, until you get it. And repetition and training, I mean, in wrestling, is a big part. I went in 275 pounds, 6'2", bodybuilder. I started wrestling and I looked completely stupid because everybody was calling me a robot because I wanted to tackle from like a football tackle people.
Right.
I wasn't, smooth at all. And with a lot of training, that came up to a real hard, and I'm now able to move a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now what promotions have you been in?
I've been in a lot of promotions on the Quebec Air. Also, I did because I'm just right beside Ontario in Canada. So there's a couple of them in Ottawa, also in this area. I think I've been to probably at least 10 different promotions all around. Right now, my local federation, which is GPW, they're kind of pushing my character up. So that is really great for me. Each shows, I'm getting the crowd behind me. So that is really great. And across Quebec, we probably have a good 20 of them. Some are like most of them are 2 to 3 hours away. Some are 6, 7, 8, 9 hours away. So I've been lucky to go around, meet a lot of people, and to be honest, that's how you learn. Wrestling different people from different places, Everybody's got different baggages. So as soon as you're ready to learn, I mean, that's always a good experience.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
let me ask you, Jero. You said GPW. Are we talking about Devin Nicholson's promotion?
No, it's on that because I know I've Googled GPW and there's one in the States, but this
Yeah.
one is really in Canada, Quebec.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
Gatineau Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen that
Okay.
one. I've seen that one, the one you're talking about in Canada. But yeah, it's a big one here. I knew that the one in Canada because we got certain members over on YouTube. They're from Canada, and they have mentioned that GPW, and they've been out to some of those independent shows. So
okay.
yeah, so I know about it. So
Yeah, and we're starting to get like a lot of tractions. Like I mentioned, I met
what I
Demolition,
heard.
but that was our end of show last year that we brought Demolition. We had Stu Grayson, Evil Uno from AEW, the Dark Orders. We had Raymond Rougeau from the Rougeau Brothers, and we filled out an arena for about 3,200 people. So that
Wow.
was, yeah, it was
Wow.
a big show.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's big. That's big for independent wrestling.
well,
I mean,
yeah, and even talking with Bill from Demolition, I mean, even them, they were surprised of how big this was. And
right.
for me to talk to this guy and he's telling me that this is a big show, I mean, we when it sank in, we we knew we did something big. So we're
Oh yeah.
doing it again this year on June 15. So hopefully we sold out this time. So that'd be awesome.
Man, that
Well,
is great because yes, you have a lot of shows around here. I mean, you got some that go every week and they would do like 200 if that. I mean, 200, 300, a decent crowd. But the biggest shows that Chris and I, as far as my partner from Straight Up Wrestling Show and Danny Paris, our old commentary partner, we would do shows, the bigger shows that we done. And I mean, this is bringing in the OC. This is bringing in D'Lo Brown. These are bringing in big names, people, and the bigger shows that we've done had like between 750 to 900 people. And I think we had one show that had like 1,000, which we had Ricky Steamboat there signing autographs along with D'Lo Brown, Rocky Roll Express, Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant there. But yeah, 3,200 people for indie show for indie company, man, is incredible. And congratulations for wrestling in front of that many people, because a lot of people in AEW is not wrestling in front of that size crowd anymore. So, man,
Yeah,
that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
well,
yeah. I was lucky to come in while this company is going up. I mean,
Right.
this year we're trying to do it again. We have a bunch of different talents coming in. I know so there's Tugboat that has been confirmed. Apparently, that's
Wow.
going to be there. Yes.
Good.
So for us in Canada, we don't usually get those big names come over. So
Right.
that's going to be great. Apparently, there's a lot more that I don't know. So I can't wait to find out who else will be at that show.
Wow.
well,
Yeah, man. That sounds great.
hey, Jero, let me ask you a question. Over in the States, when you have a newer wrestler, a rookie, or somebody who hasn't been in the business for that long, we have a saying with the independent promoters. It's called a hot dog and a handshake.
Right.
Uh, yeah. Do you not? You don't have to disclose the certain the amount, but do you get well compensated for your time wrestling?
Oh, I work for a living. I'm an IT guy. That pays the bill. Wrestling will probably not. I mean, if you look at how much time you actually spend in the ring, I get paid correctly, I guess. Uh, a bit more than my regular job, but not a lot more. But like you guys know, for indie shows, I mean, especially locally with everything that we do, we start from 10 o'clock in the morning to build the ring and stuff like that. So
Right.
just prepare the whole place. So, at the end of the day, you don't get paid much there. And, for myself, I do it for pleasure. This is a sport.
Oh yes.
I'm probably never gonna make money. Never say never, but it's really fun. If people want to book me over, I mean, if it's for a good fight, whatever covers expenses, I'm usually great with that. So,
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That
Okay.
sounds good, J. Ro.
and
That sounds very good.
I'm green. I'm not that green, but I just started. So, I mean,
In
I
other words,
can't.
in other
Uh,
words, you're still paying your dues.
No, 100%, 100%. And but to be honest, I'll probably pay my dues if I continue wrestling even 10 years on the road. I mean,
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Pretty much.
it's
A lot of wrestlers. I mean, even Ric Flair when he came back to WCW, to take on Vader for that World Championship. Vader wanted even Rick had all his accolades over the years and all that. The way Vader looked at it, hey, it didn't matter. He said, "What do you bring to the table?" So he was saying, hey, you got to pay your dues before you get back into the ring with me. And Ric Flair had to just lay out his career and say, "Hey, I put all this on the table, and my reputation for another shot at this title." So yes, you're still paying your dues, and I've heard that over the years so many times, and I know you have too. Jim,
Mhm.
coming up in the same time that I came up as far as watching wrestling in the 70s and 80s, man, that always was something. These guys would be 10-year veterans, 12-year veterans. Roddy Piper, when came from Portland, he had been working for 7, I think. He worked for like in Portland a couple years. He had been working in San Francisco a few years. And when he got to the Mid Atlantic area in '79, he already been in the business probably I think 6 or 7 years. I can't remember, but he had to pay his dues. They were like, hey, you got to pay your dues here before you can get anything. And he had to work for what he got. So yeah, you're right. Even the veterans, 7 years, 10, 15 years down the road, they're still paying their dues. That's just how it works. That's how it works in the business.
Yeah, exactly. Jero, you said you worked for GPW. Is there any other companies that you've worked for, local or, you
uh,
know?
yeah. Well, locally, I mean, there's a lot. There's OWA from Ottawa. There's TUW from Thetford Mine, which is another big one that we got over here. There's JCW. I'm French, so that's J and J. I mixed them up, but J as in Jim. CW. They just that's at the Saguenay Lac Saint Jean. They did a show yesterday. I think it was sold out. I think I saw 800 people for that show or something like that. So
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
that's a pretty good size crowd. Other than that, in the Montreal area, there's a lot of different federations that I went to. They're all a bit smaller because there's so much packed in the same place.
Right.
Uh,
Now,
but
now,
those are the main, the bigger ones.
now,
Right.
Jero, do you wrestle as a heel or a face?
I started kind of usually. I started as a heel, but now with my Asgard King gimmick, I'm. It's mostly face. Just the gimmick itself. I mean, I don't even have to, try to get the crowd. I just go out there, and people are
Right.
just.
Roaring. Yeah, they're roaring. So I kind of figured that when you had that gear on, I was like, okay, because when you took it off, when you had it off, I'm like, he's probably a heel. But when you had that gear on, and I'm like, okay, the fans automatically is gonna start cheering as soon as they see you. And yeah, so that right there probably went ahead and put you in that mode of a face. Even when you're wrestling as a heel, whenever you take that off after you wrestle a couple more years as that, even if you take it off, people still gonna be cheering for you because
Yeah.
that's just how it is. Even if you are wrestling as a heel, they will be cheering for you. It just that's the way the game's played now.
Because I started with just like leather vest. It's my leather vest that I ride around on my motorcycle on.
Right.
I used to go out with that, and one of my good friends, which is an owner at GPW, he's a you can't call him a fan of wrestling. He's a crazy
Right.
fan of wrestling because he's a collection geek. Name it, he knows it all and watched it all. And yeah, he's the one that kind of developed my gimmick. told me what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And yeah, Steph Gauthier, if you're watching, thanks a lot. All my success that I've been having lately with this gimmick is due to that guy. So yeah, like pay your dues and listen is probably the best thing in wrestling if you want to, grab people's attention.
Oh yeah.
Well, well, do you have a gimmick table?
I'm not sure what the gimmick table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gimmick tables. Go ahead.
Shirts, we autograph pictures.
Oh yes. Well, I've got pictures that I give out. Mon podcast, the Viking. So my helmet is actually a 3D printed helmet that I 3D printed myself.
Okay.
So now my buddy got a 3D scanner.
Oh wow.
Oh
I like
man.
that. I love that.
This one is 17-inch tall. These are pretty cool.
You'll sell a lot of those if you was wrestling at some of these companies around here, man. So we're gonna have to get you over here in the States and get you some of these indie shows. You will sell a lot. Now you're not gonna very rarely you're gonna wrestle in front of crowds as big as the GPW crowd. But man, hey, I would love to have you come over maybe a little bit later down the road. And like I say, you would definitely sell those. And I mean, your gimmick definitely will get over, and you'll sell a lot of merchandise.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's where a lot of the indie wrestlers make their money at is the gimmick tables here.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
And a lot of the fans, that's what they do. They go just to get those gimmicks. And meet the wrestlers. They're interested in the product. But for the most part, the American fans, man, especially down here in the South, which we're both in the South. Jim he's a little bit down for me, one state down. He's in Georgia. I'm in South Carolina. But yeah, these Southern fans here, they love the gimmicks and they love to see somebody that's coming up, somebody that's on the come up, and that's what you are. Even if you never make it to AEW. Or WWE or TNA or anything like NWA. Now they pretty much on the CW app. They're gonna get it a little bit bigger. Even if you don't make it to one of those bigger ones, you're definitely in the hearts of these people, and you're somebody who can come up because even if you come over here, you have more of a chance. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a chance over there too, because both companies do come over to Canada and they do things. So yeah, definitely get your name out and. Yeah, a little bit later, man, because I definitely want to get your information. Hit me up on the Straight Up Wrestling Show page, Facebook. Send me a friend request. Harry Bernard Taylor, we want to get you on the Straight Up Wrestling Show too, because both of us, we want to continue to push you. And like I said, we got fans, a lot of fans on our YouTube that are from Canada. So we want to push your name out there a little bit more, man. And that way, hey, everybody that, I know a lot of guys that's here in South Carolina, man, and that wrestle down in Georgia that we have pushed out. They have gotten up to AEW. They have wrestled on AEW programs. They wrestled on WWE programs. We're not that big yet. We're still a small show, but for some reason, a lot of people, they know Harry and Chris, I guess, because we know a lot of promoters. But man, yeah, because I definitely want to see you pretty much move up, because it seems, I know you're looking at it as a gimmick. It's something that you love to do, and that's the greatest thing about it. But you definitely putting some time and work into your craft, because man, just watching that doll that you have, and that pretty much represents you. That is excellent. That is excellent. I love that, and it's something that you'll be able to push off the people, and they be like, oh, Asgard the Viking, and it's gonna strike. So I like that. So I definitely want to put that out there a little bit, and we're gonna put this show on Straight Up Wrestling Show too, and then we got Nerd Clan Nation. So yeah, so man, so you're getting some publicity here.
Really appreciate it, guys. That's really great.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to just stop here, because also I've got Straight Up Wrestling's got 700 people, about 700 members.
928. Oh, 700 and we got 787 on Facebook, and I think 928 on YouTube. And then we on X too. I'm not sure how many followers we have there. But we get our streams usually on YouTube is anywhere from 400, anywhere. It could be anywhere. It depends on what we're doing. 200, where from 200 to 600 people will watch us on YouTube, and then we'll have another couple hundred that are watch us on Facebook. But we get hit like 52,000 views a month on YouTube. And on Facebook, I think we get more on Facebook because it's like every 2 weeks. So we get like 20,000 hits every 2 weeks on Facebook. So, which is pretty good. So but like if I can get a lot of clips of you, where can we find clips and things like that? Find video. Do you have any video?
Yeah, and like I keep mentioning GPW, but I'm lucky to be with them because right now all our shows are televised. So it's local television, but we do have an announcer. Sorry guys, it's all in French. But I put all my matches. I've got J-Ro, the Asgard King on. If you put Asgard King and wrestling, I think on YouTube, all my matches they pop up from my first one to my current ones. So you can actually see the progression on giving some punches to a great match.
Okay. All right. I'll go over there and do that. YouTube don't like you pulling a lot of those things because I've done it before and they demonetized our channel one time. We were making money and they demonetized it. But yeah, I will go over there and I will look at that and I'll take certain screenshots from these things and I'll make these cool. I'll make some cool like videos and put a lot of graphics and things like that. Get your name out there a little bit more because a lot of times I get like 8,000 to 10,000 hits on some of those things, man. So I definitely would do that. But yeah, we're gonna do whatever we can, and Jim, man, Jim can do a lot of incredible things with stuff like that too.
That's great. Thanks.
Well, on my end, what I can do is basically get your name to Pro Wrestling Junkies, put some of your matches on Pro Wrestling Junkies as well, so everybody can get your name. I started the group as a networking group for professional wrestlers and promotions as well, because like I said, wrestling is a passion of mine. I'm also a wrestling historian, so and that goes to my next question for you. There's been a lot of professional wrestlers that come out of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of your favorites?
I mean, I have to say favorites. I mean, like I mentioned, like I really like wrestling from back in the day. But I mean, it's seeing and talking to Evil Uno. I mean, this guy. I mean, he's in AEW right now, and he's a local guy from my town. I mean, seeing him on TV, he's a great guy, and his skill is like we were mentioning about being old school. He's not just a spot guy. He really takes that technique and a lot of work. So I would say like the people who most recently kind of got breaks or something like that. Those. Other than that, there's not much. There's a lot of people from the indie scene in Canada that maybe hasn't made it to the big leagues yet, but are pretty big in Canada. And you see a poster over there, Beast King, Frankie the Mobster. I mean, this guy is a local in Quebec. And he's one of my inspiration. Like he's a super big guy, super buff dude. Really great worker and, really great in the locker room. Super good guy. I mean, that's because like I mentioned, I'm not watching that much of,
Yeah. Evil Uno. And a lot of guys, when you basically from what you're telling me, when you started watching, when you was basically watching when you was younger, back in the Attitude Era, a lot of guys that was from Canada. I mean, the guys that was from really that represented Canada was like, the Hart guys. Jim the Anvil, Neidhart, Brett, and Owen, pretty much those are the guys that pretty much dominated the scene. But like I said, Evil Uno, man, he's his character. It's kind of funny, but he wrestles in an old school style, and I do.
Exactly.
I like
And
that. But
yeah,
one
and
thing,
if I've got another one to mention, it'd be
right?
PCO, which is in
Okay,
TNA right now. I
Okay.
mean, I was lucky to met him a couple of shows ago. He came in for signatures at our GPW, and he's actually wrestling on our show on March 30th. We have
okay,
a big mid-season show, and he's coming to fight one of the half of the tag team champion. So
right.
one, and yeah, so that's another person that is super great in the back room. And I saw him give him a bunch of chop to my friend, and yeah, those were pretty great. And I mean, you guys probably watched it. I mean, what he's doing from the third rope, flipping on the apron, I mean, that's just insane. So,
Oh yeah, big time, big time.
yeah.
I tell you, man. Yeah, my favorite wrestler probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Probably one of my top two or three heels of all time came from Canada. A guy named Angelo Moscow. I don't know if you know of him or whatever, but yeah, he played football. He played football over there, CFL legend, and he wrestled in Canada, but he wrestled all over the United States is where he really made his name. But man, I used to love him. They called him King Kong Moscow, and I know Jim knows all about him.
Oh
But
yeah,
man,
King Kong
yeah,
Moscow. I sure do.
yeah,
I
he
certainly
was
do.
incredible. He was incredible, and his son wrestled there for a little while too. He was pretty good, but I think he kind of like got out after a while. Angelo Moscow Jr., but he was pretty good. But yeah, Angelo Moscow, man, if you ever get a chance, definitely look him up. And you talk
Yep.
about somebody that had intensity, that was just he was a big guy, just incredible, man. A lot of the things that he could do in and out of that ring. And he played football. Did you play football? Because you said you was looking at trying to do like football tackles and stuff like
Hey,
that in the ring.
come on, this is Canada. I played hockey.
Oh, you played
Oh,
hockey.
okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
played hockey mainly most of my life, and
Hey, hockey,
as a
hockey.
kid, do a bunch of extreme sports. So that kind of led to wrestling, I guess.
That's pretty physical too, man. That's pretty physical. I played football and all that, but hey, we had, we played. We had hockey. I had a local. Not we didn't have high school hockey when I was in high school back then. Now I think a lot of the high schools in South Carolina do. A few of them do, but we had a local for the high school kids that like hockey. We had we got some local clubs that play hockey. And so one time we had to go and scrimmage against the hockey kids. And the coach like to put us out there against the hockey kids, the soccer kids, because those guys was in great shape and they was in a different shape than we were. So we go out there and they put us out and they said they found out the ones that could skate. And so we got out there, man. We got on skates and all that. And those hockey guys was just like whap, whap, they was experts on those skates, but they was just as physical as we were. And if we would get mad and we try to run on those skates and go and just tackle them or whatever, man, they move out of the way and then they come back and they smash us. But yeah, that's a physical sport too. So yeah, that definitely can help you get ready. So crazy.
What is your short-term goals for pro wrestling, J-Ro?
I mean, just learning each and every single match, even training. I train twice a week at least in the ring. That's not counting the gym. Like short term, I mean, I'm kind of in it right now. What I want to learn, I kind of got the moves and the work and everything like that. But really, the more theater part of it. So how you present yourself, how to tell people stuff, not talking, just with your body language. That's really what I'm focusing on right now. And hopefully, like I'm working on this year, and hopefully, if I can, grab everything down and try to get some belt in the future or something like that.
Yeah, usually after 2 years, 70 to 80%, for the most part, most guys, 80% of what you're gonna learn in the business as far as your move set and everything that you do, already gonna be implemented. You probably gonna learn maybe if you want to learn any more, you're going to learn probably 20% more. If you like, say, if you go over to Japan, those guys are going to bring a newer style to you, even if you're a big guy. You know, that happened with Stan Hansen. That happened with the Road Warriors. Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Steve Dr. Death Williams, those guys came back with different move sets, but you only going to learn so much more, not too much more. You 80%, even a boxer, which I was a Golden Gloves boxer. You only going to learn after your first 2 years. It was the same thing. 80% of what you already learned, what you know now, is what you're gonna know pretty much at the end of your career. That's the reason why you look at people like Ric Flair. They say, okay, if you watch one of his matches, you've seen 20 of his matches. That's because you get a certain mindset, and your body is just like music. A musician only has 4 chords. You get 4. Maybe a musician that's a genius, like a Liberace or somebody like that, has maybe 6 or 7, but most musicians has 4 chords that they usually play. And that's the same way a fighter, a wrestler, or anything like that. You usually have those move sets, and that's it, man. That's it. You're not gonna go any farther than that.
Well, in that sense, a lot of the old veterans are saying, usually say by their moves, less is more.
Yeah, that's true.
100%.
When you're starting out, you want to, I've seen a lot of these younger wrestlers who want to flip all over the ring and, basically be a gymnast in the ring. But the thing about it is when you get older and you still and if you still continue to wrestle, you want to slow it down, because your body is basically what you're using to do this. And I mean, look at Mick Foley. Mick Foley has done irreparable damage to his body. He's got arthritis, bad hips. Look at the Undertaker. The Undertaker was the same way. He had 2 hip replacements and 2 knee replacements. These are things to consider. So and I have no right to say that, but from looking inward, and I don't consider myself a mark. That's a phrase we use in the States. I consider myself a student. I'm always watching. I'm watching the timing. I'm watching how the story progresses in the ring.
Oh yeah.
And seeing people go through barbed wire or things of that nature, it could cause some serious damage.
There's no doubt.
It's easy. That's the worst thing. It's easy to cause damage. So
right. And the thing is this, like you was talking about yesterday, Jim. These wrestlers don't have they don't have insurance. They don't have a retirement or anything like that. You have to think about the long-term effects. I mean, if you're going to get in this business, or any really professional, any sport that's physical, but wrestling, the move set, the moves and everything, because you got to work, not only watch out for yourself. It's just like driving a car out here on the road. You pretty much driving for other people. Because you basically, a lot of people out here can't drive. So you're pretty much driving for other people. You're wrestling for other people, because some of the guys you're not going to know when you go in there. You're not going to know if they're really safe. So you got to keep yourself safe and at a certain level to make sure that they're going to be, if they make a mistake, that it's not going to hurt you. So things like balance is if you got good balance in the ring, that's one of the things I look at guys. I look at a lot of the guys when they go in the ring. If they got bad balance, I'll tell them flat out. Now you need to work on your balance, because when if you don't have good balance, you're going to end up getting hurt. You might not hurt yourself, but somebody in that ring is going to hurt you because your balance is off. So if you got good balance, man, and you know what you want to do, and like you say, being a little snug or whatever, and to be snug, you're gonna have to have good balance. You're gonna have to be able to set your body a certain way and get ready for certain hits and everything. But when you have a bad balance, you can get hurt. So you got to be careful in that ring, man. But hey, like I said, we can get hurt anywhere. But you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were mentioning earlier just those tries who want to try to flip everywhere, and I kind of figured, hey guys, I should be doing a moonsault from standing moonsault, and yeah, I
Right.
landed on my elbow and I broke a rib. So that was
Oh,
a
wow.
couple of them back. So yeah, so after that, all the guys were like, "You're the big dude. Like, stop trying to steal the
Yeah,
cruiserweight
you
move.
don't need
Like,
to do it.
stick to your thing, and you'll be fine." So I went, "All
Yeah,
right."
exactly. And
Oh,
you being big and everything, and being, and like I said, being balanced. Those guys that's coming off and they coming off and they hitting you with a moonsault or whatever, it's gonna hit you and it's not gonna be so impactful when you're off balance. So when you have bad balance, but yeah, that's one of the main things you want to work on. But Jim, go ahead, man. We didn't mean to
well,
cut you off.
no, that's fine.
Okay,
Well, let me ask you. You said that you're what, 270 pounds and six,
280.
yeah,
280.
280 right now. 6'2", 6'3" in boots.
Okay,
Okay.
you know, and now look at what your character is. You're an Asgard king, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, also, as an Asgard king, what are Asgardians known for? For battle, for strength, for
Right.
power. You should be they have an old school term, a brawler. You
Yep.
should be a brawler. You should if you're doing a, let's say, a cage match, okay, and you want to make it look good, but you also want to be safe as well. So I would not concern myself, and the great Dusty Rhodes said this. I would not concern myself with flippy moves. I would be more concerning myself with how your body is.
Yeah.
If your body shape is that of a brawler, might as well go with what brought you to the dance.
Yeah.
Be a brawler.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
100%. Because sorry. After I kind of broke my rib, like, okay, and started other moves, and I kind of got a sidewalk slam that I just spin around, stop, and power the guy on my shoulder.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's pure strength, and there's not really any gimmicky in that move. It's just me lifting a guy off my shoulder. That looks great. That is a way better move. I could do a moonsault probably from about part of the third rope would be cool. But I could do a standing moonsault and people wouldn't cheer for that one. But
That's
the other
true.
one, which I just it's a small bump. It is great looking. So yeah, like exactly what you just told me. I have been told that by my colleagues. So, you're right.
Well, I mean, you had said you had talked about Vader. Okay.
Yep.
His name was Leon Wilkes, I believe.
Leon
I believe
White.
it was Leon
Leon
White. I'm
White.
sorry. Leon White. He started out in the AWA, American Wrestling Association, with Vern Gagne. Then he went over to Japan.
Yeah.
When he came back, he was a legend over in Japan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And his movements were more the like I said earlier, the smash mouth, taking the arm. That man had his eyeball pop out from Stan Hansen, and he popped it back in and continued the match. Now that right there is like double tough. Of course, you don't want to do that to anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody in that perspective.
I would have been like, oh, wait a minute, man. We got to stop this thing. It's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
I mean,
that's tough.
Yes.
I've got the video of Stan Hansen just wailing on him. And of course, to his credit, Stan Hansen was blind as a bat.
Wow.
No vision. He couldn't see at all. And so, you can look at a lot of the old wrestling, like your Vaders, your Stan Hansens, your Dick Murdochs, your Dusty Rhodes, people like that, and you can take little pieces of what they've done and incorporate it into what you do to make you a better wrestler.
Yeah, and Just to add to your point, like the guy Stefan Gauthier, which is one of my good friends. He's he's the one that's kind of telling me which move I should do or not. And that guy knows all the wrestlers from all the time. He probably knows. You put 10 figurines, he'll tell you what collection it is. Like he knows a lot. And
Right.
that guy has been so much of a hat on to my career just because he's like, well, what you just did is like this guy, and he was doing this. So look at this move, but do it like this guy, and the crowd's going to go nuts. And I just work on that, and he's always right. So,
Well, I mean, okay. Let's get into some good wrestling questions. What do you think, Harry?
Yeah, definitely. We can go ahead and do that.
Okay. Now let me ask you. Okay, and I'm going to break my own rule of wanting to do this. Who trained you?
I got trained by multiple people actually. So GPW in Gatineau, they have a school, and so all the owners are there. They train you. There's one of our head coach, which is Lance Law, the top cop. He's a cop.
Okay.
Gimmick cop. They're the ones that's been training us. They have been training. They've been trained like 25 years ago. Apparently, it was called CPW down here at that point, and it was back when the Rougeau brothers were coming. They were coming over here and stuff like that. And those are the guys that trained us, including every single people that knows more wrestling than me. And to be honest, that is a lot. Because I don't know much in wrestling, to be honest. People call me moves all the time. Like, wait a minute, what is that? So he shows me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I understand now. We can go ahead and do it, but just like that, like knowing a bunch of moves, I'm not the greatest. So those are the guys that trained us, and.
Well, I would okay. Of course I would go to your teachers or who's training you and say, who should I look at big men to help me help with my career.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they're telling me. Like Invaders, these guys. Undertaker is the one I try to mimic when I do a promo. Say less, but more menacing, because he used to say 3 words and everybody was crying of fear. So I'm trying to kind of reproduce that for that part. So usually there's always somebody I try to look up for different aspect.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, right now, are you feuding with anybody, or have you had a match that here lately where you said you were in a spot where you didn't know if it was safe or not?
Well, feuding in terms of storyline wise, this is starting for this year. I'm starting a feud right about now there. That will be up to our last show at the Sound Slush Puppy on the 15th of June. But as to working with people that maybe weren't safe, I'm really glad because I didn't have much. There was one match. It was with another big guy. He wanted to do a move. I told him, like, you usually wrestle smaller guys. You sure you can lift me up? Like, I'm 280 pounds. And, most of it's top weight. It's not like, bottom weight. Right. And he says, yeah, sure, no problem. So he pulls me for a power bomb. And, I swing myself, and that guy landed on his back, and I almost landed in the ropes. Not too sure what happened, but that was the only time I kind of did something scary and thought, oh, that wasn't safe. Other than that, I'm lucky. I've been working with veterans, so I can't really say much as to working with people that aren't really safe.
Okay, so yeah, so your training seemed to be pretty good, man, because you said you trained by multiple people and people who have been around the business for 25 years. The owners, I mean, you can't get no better training than that because most promoters that I know in South Carolina, Georgia, the people that I know, Florida, where we've been, North Carolina, they're usually they usually had wrestled themselves or wrestled for a long time, and they're pretty good promoters, and they have a lot of them do have bookers and trainers under them, but they are trainers also. They have there's certain guys out here, they say, Harry, hey, if you want to be trained or whatever at Chris, who's already trained, I'll come to your house and train you. And these are wrestlers who've been around. Like I said, they are in the top, they on the top of the board or whatever with these little small companies. And because they like me as a person, they like, man, you can get in the ring and do some things. I'm like, no, I'm not getting into a wrestling ring because I've been challenged. I've been challenged from certain wrestlers, and I'm like, and they all know I boxed and everything, but they want me to get in there and knock some people out. But I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna get in the ring and do that. Back in the day, I would have done it, but being in my 50s, man, now, let's say when we started the podcast, I was already 54 years old, so that was like a couple years ago. So a little bit over 2 years ago, I'm like, no. I said if I was in my 40s or whatever, I still would have done it. They were like, oh, you still in pretty good shape and all that. You get in there. I'm just like, no. I'm like, get in there now. End up getting hurt or whatever, or somebody end up hitting me with a wrong move or whatever. I don't like it. I said, then the boxing match is on. I said it's gonna be real, so I'm definitely not gonna get in there.
Kayfabe is not going to be good for that one.
Exactly.
Well, Harry, you got any questions?
Man, like the only thing I really gotta say, J. Rowe, who's your favorite wrestler, man? Who's your favorite wrestler coming up? Who's your favorite wrestler? And somebody that really caught your attention and made you want to do this.
I gotta say Batista. I mean,
okay,
super big guy, looks mean, bunch of muscle, and he looks like he's stiffing everybody. Like you look at his Batista bomb, and he looks to be slamming the guy, but apparently it's not that bad. So
right.
He was a great worker. So that's really the main guy. Growing up as a little kid, I always see that big guy on TV. That would be one of my biggest influence. Like, I don't.
Yeah. He's the type of guy. He's the type of guy that walks down the street and you be like, oh my gosh, and he looks like he can pretty much beat up most of the people on the street. So that's exactly the type of person you do want to model yourself as a tough guy, as your gimmick, as what you are trying to do in wrestling. So Batista is a good one. So I can see why, what you done made yourself into, a brawler and everything in the ring, that you did follow Batista. So that's good.
And I gotta say also that Goldberg would be the second, but not Goldberg in the ring. Just Goldberg walking around. He kind of the way he moves, he looks scary, and I was watching just his entrance and just him moving around, and looking in the mirror to get the same faces that he does. When I'm heel, I mean, I look insane. So people are kind of really afraid sometimes. So that's the other the other side. Like just that's the hard part sometimes.
Oh yeah, I like that. Go ahead, Jim.
All right. I will say this: you definitely have something with the statues you got. I would, just a quick thing, if you could possibly shrink them down.
Oh, for sure. This one is mine for my collection. Just on top of my desk.
Right.
But if you shrink them down, you could possibly start a gimmick table. Have your shirts, have your hats. The Asgard family. Something like that.
Oh yeah.
It's not something catchy and everything. DVDs are always a good seller. If you go to the wrestling events, DVD, somebody says, well, hey, do you have a DVD of your matches? Because I'm new here, and that goes a long way, because if I buy a DVD for you for $5 and I give it to Harry, and Harry is a promoter, a friend of mine, and he goes, oh wow, this guy is good, let's book him.
Yeah.
And he decides to book you. That's that networking happening.
Oh yes.
And that's something you ought to consider. You ought to, and yes, I know there's streaming services out there like YouTube and Paramount Plus and the Max and Netflix, things like that. But some people like the physical copies of the DVDs.
No doubt.
Because like me, I collect physical copies of DVDs. I collect downloads from matches, things of that nature. Definitely consider something like that. It'll help boost your income up.
100%.
Yes, that's true.
But before we close, do you have any final words? Because we're excited to see you come to the States.
Yeah, one day we get. Yeah, like I say, if Chris and I can get involved, because hey, we run shows sometimes. We book shows, and I mean, that's the reason I say get in touch with us, and man, we'll see what we can do. I mean, we'll see what we can do. If we got one. Our last show, we had one guy come down from Detroit. He actually drove all the way here, and basically he got paid by the promoter, and I paid him. I paid him too, because he came all the way here from Detroit. But like you said, hey, if you get room and board or whatever, and get your, get as far as your travel fee covered and everything, hey, we definitely probably can look into something like that, because we would love to have you. We have a guy down in Georgia, down at SWA Wrestling, in Eastern Ollie, Georgia. They brought these guys. It's a tag team from Canada that comes up there. I cannot even think of the names right now, but they're really good. But they come over. I don't know how much. I got to talk to John. I got to talk to the promoter out there, find out exactly what the fee that he's paying these guys. But they come over from Canada.
Okay.
That's one. I can give your name to him. I can get your name to Adam Cantrell. They run every week APW up in Boiling Springs, South Carolina. 3 count. I would like to get your name out to a few promoters here. Hey, I don't know exactly what they can give you, but I want them to see some of your footage and everything. And if Chris and I put in good work for you, man, and plus Jim, like I say, you will have a four-way at least here in the South to come to the United States and probably put on some shows.
That'd be awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. We both know that you're coming up, that you're new to this. Well, relatively new. You're in your sophomore year. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to call you a rookie, because that would be insulting to some people. You're learning a craft, and you want to better yourself at it.
We kind of laugh at it, because usually, like, rookies are just green. You're green in wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I'm just another shade of green. Like, I'm not sure what the next step is, but I'm not green, but I'm just that color just after.
You're still one of the young lions, and that's what they used to call back in the Mid-Atlantic area. They used to call them the young lions. You're still a young lion. So you pretty much, you're coming up, you're still learning, and you're a promising young lion. So
you see the difference between guys like me that are like trying to always level up. You get the veterans that are great, but some of them have been doing the same match for over past 15 years.
Oh,
but I always try to learn something new just to get another pop, depending on where you are and what show it is.
Always trying to progress. Yeah. So that's great. That's great.
Well, and it takes time to climb that ladder. You have to go one rung at a time.
Yep.
Don't give up on this thing, man, because your character is great. We saw you in your helmet. we see, you know, your heart and your energy in this, and now our audiences will see your heart and your energy come across, and they'll have a brief introduction of who you are. And and along with this, you know, I'm gonna send you a personal invite to the Nerd Clan Nation. I don't know if you like things like Star Wars or anime or video games or things of that nature.
Yeah, you know, I'm a big wrestler, but I'm a geek. Like I'm an IT guy, so you know, it's there's a big Stargate painted on my wall upstairs. So
Yeah.
Okay, so you play video games and you like Star Wars and things of that nature, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to talk to Chris about that. He's big into that stuff, man. So yeah, you
Yeah.
and Chris.
Yeah, you know, we will be glad to help you on our end by showing some of your matches, and of course, like I said, this drops Wednesday at 8:30 8:30 p.m.
Yep.
You know, we're going to drop it then. I'm going to drop it on my end. He's going to drop it on his.
Oh yes.
You know, we work together. You know, to try to have a better product.
No doubt, no doubt.
Kind of like what you do, J-Ro.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Oh yeah. But we definitely will be putting you, like I say, we'll be putting you on, man. You Nerd Clan Nation, and then Professional Wrestling Junkies from Jim's podcast over there, and Fresh School, not Fresh School, man. That's my old music channel. But yeah, definitely, man. Definitely with Straight Up Wrestling Show. We're gonna put you on and I'm gonna take some of your matches, and I'm gonna get some of that stuff over on the site, especially on Facebook and Instagram, and pretty much make some good shorts on that. So people like to look at the little 15, 20, 30 second shorts, definitely, and get your best shots and put those out there, man. Just get your name on out here in the States, so people can start clamoring and say, hey, I want to see that guy. I want to see that guy. And then, you know, after they want to see you and they want to see you much, and they be like, hey, what about that guy that we seen that you pretty much promoting out there? We'd be like, hey, you might have to pay a little bit to help us get him over here. But hey, over here, you know, just help us out a little bit more, and we'll get him on over here. And
yeah, that's great.
Get you some publicity over here in the States, over here in the southern states. And we're serious wrestling fans here, very serious.
Oh yes. I would venture to say that you know, without stepping out of bounds, it would almost be a religion.
Yes.
Here.
Yes. Very close. Very close.
Very, very close. You know, I don't want to step on any toes about religion, but you know, I want to say it's very close to a religion over here.
Yeah, it's basically. I mean, to be straight up, to be honest, I mean, this is where Jim and I are at is the Bible Belt of the country, Bible Belt of the United States. But down south is church, football, and wrestling. That's what it is in that order. That's what it is. You know, pretty much. I mean, of course, your family's there, but I mean, yes. But as far as the entertainment in this area, man, that's what it was: church, football, and wrestling. Just wrestling. A lot of huge wrestling fans here in the South, and you're not gonna find a better place to pretty much bring yourself up in the United States in wrestling. So yeah, we would love to get you over here, straight up.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely. J-Ro, now before we end this interview, I want you to know that you're more than welcome to come on this show. And I can't speak for Harry, but I'm suspecting you're welcome to come on his show as well.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
If you have an event that you would like to promote, we could help. We could also help you promote it. Bring it on here. Have you on here. Possibly have a couple of your other wrestling friends over here.
That'd be great.
As well. We would be more than happy to help promote that. Professional Wrestling Junkies, Straight Up Wrestling Show, Nerd Clan Nation. You know, we'd like to help promote that because, like I said, I've got a friend over in Nova Scotia, so and we want to help you, but we also want to bring you down here so we can see you wrestle.
But that'd be great if we can. We could book something else. We could talk about our big show in June. There's two guys that wrestle with me. One is our manager. The other one's another big guy, snug like me. Like we train together, so we're different gimmicks, but we're wrestling the same way. So I'm pretty sure you guys would like him too. So definitely we can set something up.
That sounds great.
Awesome. Well, Harry, do you have anything?
Man, I'm satisfied. I'm full, and got to meet J. Rowe, the Asgard King, and got to talk to Jim, the Professor. Hey, can't ask for any more, man.
J. Rowe, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you for taking your time. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to help us grow. Also, like, share, and subscribe to Harry's podcast, the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Follow us on Facebook. And look for this gentleman, J. Rowe. Because he's coming to the United States real soon.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get him. We're gonna get him here. I mean, it might take us a while, but we'll get him here. All right, J. Rowe.
All right.
We appreciate you 100%.
Thank you, guys.
Taking your time to rock with us, man. But you have a great day. I don't know what time it is over in Montreal. I think you're a couple hours difference or whatever. But
same time.
Oh, same time. Okay.
Yeah,
we are here. Right. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm out of here.
And we are out of here. Stay, J. Rowe, stay backstage, and we'll talk to you in just a few minutes. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right.